Alright guys, MD Prepper here again. My second video for YouTube, my new channel. I'm going to be going over water filtration bottles. I've seen a lot of these out there. I own quite a few of them. Very handy little things. I've got three of the more common ones out here that we're going to be going over. We're going to be going over the Just Water Me, which I just got in about 2-3 days ago. That I got from Cheaper Than Dirt. It is a ceramic water filter. We'll be talking about that one first. Next we got the Sport Berkey. This one is, again, goes with the Berkey water filters. Got this one free with my Royal Berkey water filter system. And I'll go ahead and tell you my personal favorite here is the Sawyer water bottle. We'll go over that one as well. But to start with, let me tell you a little story about water filtration. When I was an intern back in Texas, we had to bug out in front of Rita before that hit us. We got lucky it didn't hit us, but long story short, I ended up in a small little park, a little wilderness park, a little garden park, in a little town called Wallace, Texas, just outside of Houston. I'd started off with a full tank of gas at the beginning of that evac, and was down to about a third of a tank by the time I decided to give it up for the night and camp out in this little park for the night. All I had with me, a couple liters of, a couple 2-liter bottles of soda, a couple small containers of Gatorade, and 1 pallet of bottled water, which is about 2.5 gallons if memory serves. That's all I had at the time with me. I had no way of purifying water. I had no way of starting fire. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I didn't even have shelter other than my car, which that's another story. I ended up finding a very small spigot faucet there in the park for, I guess, watering the flowers and the plants, which I ended up refilling all my water bottles and water containers with, which was great. But I may have had to spend that night and the storm in that little park due to lack of gas and everything else. I didn't, but had that storm hit after the fact, I would have pretty much been left with the water I had on me, because Houston being just about right at sea level, there's a big storm, things get over flooded. You probably wouldn't have been able to trust that water supply without purifying it, even out of that little spigot. So I'd have been stuck with about 4 gallons, 5 gallons of water out in the middle of just about nowhere with no way of refilling my supply. I didn't even have a bandana on me at the time. But again, I'll give that grand story later. So, sure wish I had some of these with me at the time. So let's start with this new one, the Just Water Me. Picked this up for about $20 on Cheaper Than Dirt. I actually saw them not long ago in a local Walmart for, I believe it was $25. So here we go. So far I haven't used this one, but I'm not all that impressed, though I do like the price. It's a plastic, soft plastic container. I don't like the fact that you can't see through it. You can't see quite how much water you've got in there. As far as the top, you've got this nice little hook for a carabiner. Not the most sturdy. Any kind of heavy duty wear and tear on that's probably going to break it, but there's other ways to carry water. Now, the one thing I do like is the spout on this thing. It's like your Camelbacks and your other little water bladder bags. You have to squeeze on it with your teeth and suck through it. So that'll be pretty good at keeping out another kind of particulate, that sort of thing. That's a good plus. I like that. Now, onto the filter itself, which is by far and large the most important part. This is a ceramic filter. Very much like the monolithic filters. I think it might be made by the same guys. It looks surprisingly similar, just scaled down. It filters about 0.2 microns, which is pretty darn good. If you're worried about any extra viruses, that sort of thing, just put a couple drops of chlorine bleach in the bottle. Let it sit and you'll be okay. I've used ceramic filters before for filtering water. They work fairly well. Only problem with them is they're very fragile. I worry about this in a bottle technique because this ceramic filter sits at the very bottom of this bottle here, and which it needs to be so you can suck up water and everything else. Problem is, bottle falls, especially if empty, you're going to get quite the shock weight of this thing. If it gets cracked, you're screwed. You can't trust this thing any longer. The ceramics, very reliable. It works very well. It does, I don't know if you can hear that, have charcoal, activated charcoal on the inside. If this isn't used, they say that shelf life can be up to 50 years. Not that I intend on keeping one of these around as backup for 50 years, but to keep the shelf life longer, you have to take this out every so often, shake it up so it doesn't settle, or at least so they say in the packaging. Again, I don't like the fragility of the ceramic filter, but for 20 bucks, it's not bad. They tell you this thing is useful for about 200 refills of the bottle. The bottle is about 0.65 liters. I tend to do things in liters these days. So do the math. That's about 50 gallons. That's pretty good for 20 bucks, but you can do a lot better. Again, handy, available, cheap. If you're ordering from Cheaper Than Dirt, I say go ahead and pick one up. Just keep it around. They'll probably don't keep it in the back of your car so it rattles around and gets beat up. Maybe keep this one on a shelf somewhere. Alright, going on to the Sawyer. Got this one free. Haven't used it a whole lot. It is a Minnow Peck bottle. You can see what's inside, which I like a lot better, but it's not particularly clear, so you don't know how clear the water is you picked up. One thing I do like about this, this one did actually happen to come with a carabiner, which is always nice. The top hood on this I really like. It slides off and slides back to reveal the straw. So pretty much you protect your water source and your water supply, your straw, from getting contaminated by mud or splashed up dirty water, that sort of thing. Would hate to get some kind of contaminant while crossing a stream just because I happen to get this a little bit wet. So this is good at locking things off. Only problem, this little straw is a little flimsy. Don't know how long I'd trust that for extended use. If this thing happened to pop off, you'd be kind of SOL. But it works fairly well. Now onto the filter. This, just like the ceramic, is 0.2 micron. It's based on the same black filter. Don't know if you can see a little bit of the filter there of the Berkey water filters, which I greatly enjoy. Got a Crown Berkey, is it Crown Berkey? No, Royal Berkey, pardon me. I have a Royal Berkey on my countertop here at home. Love it. I tend to drink just about plain rainwater, stuff I get out of my rain barrels through the thing. Best water you'll ever drink. Filters really, really well. They say it's useful for about 650 filtrations of city water, basically, you know, non-contaminated. It cuts down to about a quarter of that, about 140 or so uses with dirty water. So that turns out to only be about 25 to 27 gallons of filthy dirty water. That's not a lot. This thing I got mine free because it came with my Berkey, big Berkey filter system. But these run you about 25 bucks. Nice, I like it. Don't know if it's my favorite. Actually, I know it's not, but it does its job. Definitely a better choice, I think, than the ceramic filter, as that little plastic filter case around the inside there's going to last you if this thing gets beaten, banged up. Again, soft plastic, you can squeeze it, possibly increasing your water flow as you're sucking through the straw, but I don't think I'd really recommend that. Now finally, and this is absolutely my favorite, Sawyer. This was an SP140 I picked up at Walmart for about 140 bucks. I picked this up just after bugging out back in Texas over the years. This is actually my second bottle. I got another one somewhere else that I keep stowed away. This one's fresh. This thing on the outside of the container says it's good for about 500 gallons of water, compared to the smaller rates of the others. Again, that's assuming cleaner water. Good thing about this filter system, you can actually clean it and make it last longer and work better. 500 gallons is nothing to laugh at. A gallon per person per day, that's 1.3 years of water for a person. You can go out in the woods and live with this bad boy. Similar to the Berkey, this has a similar flip-top top to it that will keep your straw safe. It's a little bit more rigid, a little tougher than the Sawyer bottle, which I like a lot better. It does not come with this carabiner compass. I added that just to snatch onto my bug-out bag or pack, whatever I happen to be adventuring around with. One thing I do like about this, it is clear. You can see how much water you've got in there, how much turbidity, etc. You know, determine if you need to flush, you know, dump out the water and maybe filter it through a bandana, something like that if the water's too dirty. So I like the fact that you can see how much you've got in here very clearly. Even better, on this, don't know if you can see it, it tells you how much water is in this, which is very, very useful. This holds a full liter of water. The other two hold 22 ounces, which is about 0.65 liters. So this is a bigger bottle. This is not soft plastic, so it won't give as much. So I guess if you ran over with a truck, something like that, it may crack, but honestly, I wouldn't worry about that with this thing. This is a pretty heavy-duty bottle, very similar to a Nalgene type bottle. Now the one thing I do really like about this bottle that stands above all the others is all the extra little parts and pieces it comes with. It comes with 3 mouth straws, so in case you lose one or you question if one gets dirty, something like that, you can always attach another. Very useful. Also, it comes with some clips, containers, and a little adapter so that you can attach this thing to a water bladder, something like that. Or any other type of contraption you can come up with. This would, of course, allow you to make a bigger water filter for more people. Instead of just sucking through a straw, you can turn this little filter into a gravity filter. The newer ones are guaranteed to, I believe it's 1,000,000 gallons is what they say. I've got one of the smaller, just the filters for a kit, but not in the bottle form. I just haven't picked one of those up yet. But either way, I love this Sawyer water bottle. Use it all the time. Again, not this one, the other one. Very clean, pure water. All you got to do is suck out the straw at the top. Works really, really well. This one is a bit more expensive than the other two. This one runs you about $40, maybe $50, depending on where you're at. Either way, I think this stands head and shoulders above the rest. Good bottle. Highly recommend it. I keep this on my bug out bag and keep one in the car at all times, just in case. Because you never know when you may have to filter some water, or when you may be stuck out in the woods, something like that. This will save you from having to start a fire, boil water, especially if you're in a hurry or in a drought-prone area where there's fire hazard. Very much like this thing. Good for on the go. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. MD Prepper out. Thanks.